government of everything.
Petrocaribe,
I would say that I don't know much about Petrocaribe, but I recently learned from looking at YouTube that one of Chavez's help, ways of helping poor people, it extended beyond Venezuelan borders because he actually helped 500,000 poor Americans with heat and oil, which he gave for free. I did see a very elderly lady who came on YouTube to say that she doesn't, when asked what does she think about Venezuela, she said, well, I would say I am for Venezuela because they helped us for years, for nearly 5 years. And Obama was so ashamed that he cut the program in 2009.
Trinidad was a beneficiary of that program as well, right?
No. Trinidad has oil, so.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I know Jamaica was.
Trinidad has oil. It has. We have a lot of fineries, which is going funny way. But we've always had oil since in the 50s.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There were about 3 or 4 companies down there, but now I don't think it's going well in the oil business anyway. But we've always had petrol. Okay. So yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, that was it then still.
Yeah, so Venezuela, because Venezuela is only 476 miles off of Trinidad. So we have a lot of Venezuelans who have always been coming. We have a very good relationship with Venezuela.
So is the leaders of Trinidad and Tobago traditionally, have they been like sovereign, or would you say that they've been under the control of America?
They've had a respectful relationship with the U.S. because they've always had their own oil, so you couldn't hold anything like
sanctions and
stuff. But of late, because the President Prime Minister has decided to support Maduro and not Guaido, he's getting a lot of stick as well he's getting all the stick. But we have been able to have a kind of relationship with America. But a lot of the people in the Caribbean, which is we have an organization in the Caribbean. I forgot the name of it. It used to be CARICOM, but it's now it's the whole of the Caribbean. CARICOM. They are saying that they took a decision to support Maduro because he's a democratically elected.
CARICOM in majority support Maduro.
Yes, but what happened? Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Haiti, and somebody else, another country, came out and as single, as different.
Not indifferent.
And like they come out from the organization to say that although the organization in general supports Maduro as an individual nation, they seem to support Guaido, including Jamaica. Trinidad has decided they're keeping most of the Caribbean have decided. Bahamas as well.
Yeah.
But
the reasons?
Bahamas is very close. Bahamas is more like a puppet. Haiti and Bahamas and Dominican Republic, they're more like, they have a different relationship. I think the Southern Caribbean, which has free education and more educated people, have a different opinion, whereas up north in the Caribbean, except Cuba, there's a different relationship with America. Kind of subservient.
Yeah.
And then I think Jamaica had learned a lesson well. They did try to go into the left side of politics and try to become very independent. And they saw what Siaga. Is it Siaga? Yeah. Edward said they flood the place with those gangsters. Yeah, from Miami, which is where they get a lot of these crooks, these gringos, to go and attack, to do all these online attack of people who support Maduro now. So it's the same nest of crooks that they're using. It's constant thing. And CIA has a big kind of outlet out there. So there's a lot of assets that they can use. Yeah. But thank God that Venezuela now, has increased his relationship with Russia and China. So hopefully that should help them. And then Venezuela has a very organized, a well-disciplined army that has no training in America. There's a school of Americas in America where they train them to be like these death squads and killers. Like it's a terrorist school, really. Hey, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. So they're not trained in that school. They've been trained by the Cubans. That's why they have not fallen for that Guaido's nonsense. A lot of them, they've been trained by Cuba, and some of them have been trained by Russia. And even their equipment is now Russian thing, which is why, because the USA is now bankrupt after fighting all these Israeli wars for Israel. They're bankrupt, so now they're at a kind of a turning point whereby they want to use proxies. They don't want to send in men. They want to use proxies. So that's the thing. That's the kind of things that they and trying to blacklist Venezuela all around the place. But Venezuela has more support than they think. They even tried to insult. Pence was insulting Mr. Monado, the diplomat, and then the Russian diplomats sorted them out and said, you cannot use that language. This man has been duly appointed by the Venezuelan state to represent his government. You cannot tell, because Pence was saying, you have no right to be here. You need to go back to Venezuela and tell Maduro that. And Mr. Moncada is his name. So, the only people really standing up and sticking it to the U.S. in the UN, because the UN is now a playground now. It's not really doing the job because it needs restructuring, to be honest. Yeah. Because the General Assembly should... Hello, can
I just clarify where you can actually stand?
General Assembly.
Bearing in mind that this is government property. Okay, the only place you can actually stand is out there, just where that tree is the end of the government land. Oh, this one? There's a big tree there? Yeah. Just there. Just there. Okay. So if you can all move out there.
They need the UN needs to be restructured, because the General Assembly should be given more teeth. And the United Nations Security Council should actually be sort of dissolved, I would think, and have the General Assembly, which is where all the nations sit, the whole world sits. These are the people who should be taking decisions, and the only decisions that the UNC should be following is what they have said. When the majority, because that is democracy in action, you can't have 7 countries or 5 countries taking actions, and the 100 and how many countries just sitting there and watching, like audience. So to turn the tables around, you need to bring the General Assembly as the person that ratifies the stuff, and then they tell the UNC this is what's going to happen. The majority have voted, and you cannot be waging these wars, and they need to say, take a thing to say yes or no. And but the General Assembly, that is the problem. They haven't got any teeth.
Auntie, it was nice talking to you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Hopefully I see you again.
Content over everything from your government. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
The indictment out against the Sun, which is now on seal, makes clear the government is targeting Julian for political reasons. It states the primary purpose of the conspiracy was to facilitate Chelsea Manning's acquisition and transmission of classified information related to the national defence of the United States so that WikiLeaks could publicly disseminate the information on its website. That's what the US indictment that they've want to extradite Julian Assange for says.